Good evening and welcome to the 2024 presidential U.S. election between the incumbent president Joe Biden, who is facing off the former president Donald Trump in a rematch from 2020. Now, taking a look at the preferred candidate for president, they are pretty much at the same percentages. Joe Biden is only slightly more favored by Donald Trump by only a percentage point, not really that much of a difference, 41 to 42%, with about 17% undecided. And take a look at the approval rating of the incumbent president Joe Biden. He is underwater by a net negative 13%. He's disapproved of by 54%, and he has a approval rating of just 41%. And now, as far as Donald Trump's approval rating when he was in office, back in 2016 to 2020, his approval rating is not much different from Joe Biden. They're both underwater by around 13 points. 54% for Donald Trump disapproved of by, and Donald Trump is approved by only just 41%. And now we have polls coming out of the state of Georgia. Joe Biden is expected to narrowly pull off the state of Georgia, just like how he did in 2020. 46 points for Biden to Donald Trump's 44%. And now we have Arizona polling data. 47% for Joe Biden and 44% for Trump. Joe Biden is the favorite to win Arizona. And as far as Wisconsin goes, we have polls suggest that Wisconsin will narrowly go to Joe Biden as well. And now we have our first 7 o'clock p.m. poll closings Eastern time from these states. We now can call Kentucky for Donald Trump. He takes the state's 8 electoral votes, as well as Indiana's 11 electoral votes will be going to Donald Trump. Polls have now closed in the state of South Carolina. Trump is the projected winner. We now can call Vermont for Joe Biden, 3 electoral votes. And now a key battleground state that we will be keeping a close eye on that could ultimately determine the outcome of the election. Georgia, currently too early to call with just 12% in. Joe Biden has a double-digit lead, but keep in mind, too early to call. A lot of counties have not been called yet. Now we can call Virginia. Will be going to incumbent President Joe Biden. He takes the state's 13 electoral votes added to his column. He's going to win it by around roughly 7 percentage points. 53 for Biden to Donald Trump's 46 in Virginia. Now our second poll closings of the night, 7:30 p.m. poll closings from just 3 states. West Virginia. Polls have now closed in this state. 4 electoral votes will be added to Donald Trump's column. And now another key swing state that we will be keeping a close eye on. Also a must-win for Donald Trump. He won it in 2016 and in 2020. Let's see if Donald Trump can win North Carolina for a 3rd time a row, this time in 2024. Currently too early to call, 23% in. Joe Biden has a 10-point lead, but keep in mind, too early to call with its 16 electoral votes. We now can call Ohio's race for Donald Trump. Ohio will be voting for Donald Trump in the 2024 election. 17 electoral votes. And now our first update on the map to 270. 49 electoral votes so far for Trump and 16 for Joe Biden. We are still too early in the night. And now 8 o'clock p.m. poll closings Eastern time from these states. Oklahoma, polls have now closed in Oklahoma. 7 electoral votes going for Donald Trump. And Donald Trump will take Tennessee's 11 electoral votes. Polls have now closed in the state of Mississippi, 6 electoral votes going to Donald Trump's column, as well as Alabama's 9 electoral votes, and the state of Missouri will be voting Republican as it always does. And now, another update on the key state of Georgia. Let's take a look back at Georgia. It remains too early to call, just 28% in. Joe Biden still holds the lead, too early to call at the moment. We have a major projection and a must-win will be going to Donald Trump, Florida's 30 electoral votes. Donald Trump will win, and he will take the state of Florida in his 3rd election in a row. Trump won the state of Florida back in 2016. He won it in 2020, and he's going to win it this time around in 2024. 3 times in a row, Florida will be voting red for Donald Trump. This is also a must-win, and he won it. He's going to win the state of Florida by around 4 percentage points. 88% of the expected vote is in. 52 for Donald Trump to Joe Biden's just 48%. This is a very Republican trendy state, and it's pretty much a lost cause for Democrats. Now, Donald Trump will grab Maine's 2nd congressional district. And now District of Columbia, incumbent President Joe Biden will win the state with its 3 electoral votes. Out of the state of Massachusetts, incumbent President Joe Biden will win its 11 electoral votes. Polls have now closed out of the state of Illinois. 19 electoral votes will be going to Joe Biden. And now another key update of the state, battleground state of North Carolina. Remains too early to call, 41% in. This race is tightening up. 48% for Biden to Donald Trump's 45 points. Joe Biden is only in the lead by around 3 percentage points. Too early to call for North Carolina, but it is tightening up. It's closening up. And now Maryland's 10 electoral votes, incumbent President Joe Biden will win the state of Maryland, as well as Delaware, 3 electoral votes, and New Jersey's 14 electoral votes will be added to Joe Biden's column, as well as Connecticut, incumbent President Joe Biden will win 7 electoral votes, and polls have now closed in Rhode Island, 4 electoral votes going to Joe Biden, while Joe Biden does win Maine's 3 out of the 4 electoral votes, while Donald Trump does get that 1 district. And now Pennsylvania, a key Rust Belt state that could ultimately determine the outcome of the election. Pennsylvania, too early to call, 44% in. Donald Trump holds the lead, but keep in mind, too early to call. A lot of these counties are expected to go Joe Biden that have not been called yet to make this race a little bit closer. And as well as New Hampshire, too close to call, 48% in. We cannot make a projection just yet. It's too close to call. Joe Biden does hold a lead in New Hampshire. Let's see if it'll be closer or if his lead does decline a little bit. 4 electoral votes, we cannot make a projection out of that state just yet. And another update on the map to 270, 123 electoral votes for Donald Trump so far and 90 for Joe Biden. We have 8:30 p.m. poll closings from just one state, which is the state of Arkansas. No surprise here, solid Republican state will be going to Donald Trump, 6 electoral votes. And another update on Georgia, let's take a look back at Georgia. It remains too early to call, 47% in. Joe Biden remains in the lead in the state of Georgia, but keep in mind, it's too close, or too early to call actually. And another update on North Carolina. Let's take a look back at North Carolina, another key swing state. Must win for Donald Trump. He won it twice. Let's see if he can win it for a 3rd time in a row. Too close to call, 54% in. We cannot make a projection just yet. It is too close to call. Donald Trump is slightly in the lead. Donald Trump takes the lead in North Carolina for the first time tonight. And now, another update on the race to 270, 129 electoral votes for Donald Trump and 90 for Joe Biden. Now we have our big batch of poll closings, 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. South Dakota, 3 electoral votes. Donald Trump is the projected winner. Donald Trump will take Wyoming's 3 electoral votes. Polls have now closed in North Dakota, 3 electoral votes going to Donald Trump's column, as well as Louisiana's 8 electoral votes. And Donald Trump will win Nebraska's 4 out of the 5 electoral votes, while Joe Biden does win Nebraska's 2nd congressional district. And now another update on the race of Georgia. Too close to call, 59% in. It is currently a dead tie, even 46.5 to 46.5. We cannot make a projection just yet. This race is too close to call. And now out of the state of Kansas, 6 electoral votes will be going to Donald Trump. No surprise here. Out of the solid Democratic state of New York, incumbent President Joe Biden will win its 28 electoral votes. We now have a major projection out of the swing state of North Carolina's 16 electoral votes. Donald Trump will win North Carolina for the 3rd time in a row. And he's going to win the state of North Carolina by around 2 percentage points. 82% in. We now can call the race of North Carolina to Donald Trump. This was a must win. And guess what? He won it by around 51 points for Trump and 49 for Joe Biden. Donald Trump will knock off Joe Biden in the state of North Carolina for a 2nd time. And now in Colorado's 10 electoral votes, we now can call the race of Colorado for incumbent President Joe Biden. And as well as New Hampshire, we now can't call the race of New Hampshire for Joe Biden. 4 electoral votes. Joe Biden will beat Trump in New Hampshire for his 2nd time in a row as well. Joe Biden will win the state of New Hampshire by around 4 percentage points, 92% in. We now can call the race of New Hampshire going to Joe Biden by around 4 percentage points, 52 for Biden to Donald Trump's 48 points. Donald Trump will fail to win the state of New Hampshire in 2024. And now an update on the Sunbelt state of Texas. Currently 65% in. Joe Biden holds a lead of around 8 to 9 points, but keep in mind, a lot of these counties that are expected to go in Trump's favor have not been called yet. We cannot make a projection in Texas just yet. Now we can call New Mexico for Joe Biden, 5 electoral votes. No, not really that much of a surprise. And now, out of the state of Arizona, this is a crucial state and ultimately could determine the winner or the outcome of this election. Joe Biden holds a lead, 54% to Donald Trump's 41%, but keep in mind, a lot of these counties have not been called yet. We cannot make a projection in Arizona just yet. We now can call a major projection out of the state of Minnesota. Incumbent President Joe Biden will win Minnesota's 10 electoral votes. Obviously, a must win for Joe Biden. He's going to win it pretty comfortably by around 5 percentage points, 88% in, 52% for Joe Biden to Donald Trump's 47.7% in Minnesota. And now a key Rust Belt state from Wisconsin, 48% in. We cannot make a projection. Kind of too early to call. 52% for Trump and Joe Biden's at 39%. We cannot make a call just yet. A lot of counties have not been called yet. And now Michigan, which neighbors Wisconsin, too close to call, 70% in. Donald Trump holds a lead of just 2 percentage points. This race is extremely close. We cannot call Michigan just yet. And now another update. Let's check back with the race to 270, 173 for Donald Trump to Joe Biden's 147. Joe Biden is catching up to Donald Trump. This race is tightening up and is getting very close. Now, our 10 o'clock p.m. poll closings from just these 4 states on the west. Utah, 6 electoral votes going to Donald Trump, no surprise here. And an update on the state of Georgia, too close to call, must win for Donald Trump, and he is narrowly in the lead at the moment, 73% in. We cannot make the projection just yet, too close to call. And an update on Arizona, also a must win for Donald Trump if he wants to win the election, too close to call, 75% in. Joe Biden actually remains in the lead in Arizona by around 2 percentage points. So if Joe Biden can pull off the state of Arizona just like how he did in 2020, Donald Trump might lose the election. And now Montana's 4 electoral votes will be going to Donald Trump, no surprise here, solid Republican state. And an update on back to Wisconsin, 76% in. Joe Biden is in the lead, 47%. Joe Biden now takes the lead in Wisconsin for the first time tonight. His first lead in Wisconsin. He's leading by just 2 percentage points. We cannot make a projection just yet, too close to call. And now another update on the Sunbelt state of Texas. Too close to call. Democrats tried to flip it in 2016. They failed to do so. They tried again in 2020. They failed. Let's see if Democrats can flip the Sunbelt state of Texas in 2024, the purple state. As of right now, Joe Biden does hold a slight lead in Texas, but too close to call. We cannot make a projection just yet. And Nevada update, swing state, too close to call, 76% in. Joe Biden holds a lead of about 1 percentage point. We cannot make a projection just yet. Let's see if Donald Trump can pull it off. And Iowa's 6 electoral votes will be going to Donald Trump's column, no surprise here. And another update on the state of Arizona, a must win for Donald Trump. It's crucial if he wants to win the election. Remains too close to call, 78% of the expected vote is in. Joe Biden remains in the lead of around 2 percentage points. And another update on the race to 270, 189 electoral votes for Donald Trump, and Joe Biden remains at just 147. Overall, extremely close. We cannot call the race for anyone just yet. Now we have our 11 o'clock p.m. poll closings Eastern time from the West Coast. But before we get on to the poll closings on the West Coast, another update on Wisconsin. I do want to give another update. This race is tightening up, and it is exactly a tie at 48% to 48%. Too close to call, 82% in. We cannot make a projection just yet. Wisconsin is now an even tie. Donald Trump is catching up to Joe Biden in Wisconsin. We now have a major projection out of California, 55 electoral votes. Incumbent President Joe Biden will win, no surprise here, solid Democratic state, which should give him the lead over Trump because California's electorate is really high. And now another update on Michigan. This is a must-win for Joe Biden. He won in 2020. Let's see if Joe Biden can win Michigan in 2024. Too close to call. 88% of the expected vote is in. Joe Biden holds a lead of around 1 percentage point in the state of Michigan. We cannot make a projection just yet. Now, out of the state of Hawaii, incumbent President Joe Biden will win the state for electoral votes. And now we can call Oregon for Joe Biden. No surprise here. Another update on the swing state of Nevada. Remains too close to call. 87% of the expected vote is in. Is currently in a dead tie. Donald Trump is catching up to Joe Biden. 49% for Trump to Joe Biden's 49%. We cannot call Nevada just yet. And now out of Washington State, polls have now closed out of Washington State. Incumbent President Joe Biden will win its 12 electoral votes. Another update on Texas, must win for Trump. Too close to call, 86% in. Donald Trump is now in the lead in the state of Texas by around 3 percentage points. We will call the state of Texas really soon if Donald Trump continues to hold the lead. And now out of Idaho's 4 electoral votes, polls have now closed in this state. No surprise here. Safe Republican state. Another update on the map to 270. Joe Biden takes the lead for the first time tonight over Donald Trump. 225 electoral votes for Joe Biden so far and just 193 for Donald Trump. This race is getting extremely close. And now we have our 1 a.m. poll closings from just one state Eastern time from just Alaska. No surprise here. It's going to Donald Trump, safe Republican state. We have a major projection out of the Sunbelt state of Texas. 40 electoral votes going to Donald Trump's column. This is a major win for the Trump campaign as he will win on in Texas. He will take the state by around 6 percentage points. 92% in, we now can call the race of Texas for Donald Trump. 53.6% for Trump, and Joe Biden will lose Texas with only 47.4% of the votes. We have a major projection out of the Rust Belt state of Wisconsin, a must-win for Donald Trump, and he will win. And actually, the first flip of tonight, Wisconsin's 10 electoral votes will be going to Donald Trump. This is a major projection and major news for the Trump campaign, and this is obviously bad news for the Biden campaign. If you are a Biden supporter, Donald Trump will win Wisconsin's 10 electoral votes by around 0.4 percentage points, under 1%, extremely close overall, 98% in, 50.2% for Donald Trump's to Joe Biden's 49.8 percentage points. This is the first flip tonight going to Donald Trump. And an update on the race to 270, Donald Trump takes back the lead at 244 electoral votes. He is getting closer to 270, and Joe Biden is barely trailing Donald Trump, extremely close at 226. Let's see if Joe Biden can catch up. We have a major race call projection out of the state of Georgia, 16 electoral votes. The second flip tonight going to Donald Trump's column. This is a must-win for Donald Trump if he wanted to win the election, and he is on track to do so as he does flip 2 states. This is a major win for the Trump campaign, and this is bad news for the Biden campaign, but Biden can still win. Donald Trump is the projected winner in the state of Georgia by around 2 percentage points, 99%, and we now can call Georgia's race for Donald Trump. The second flip tonight for him, 51% of the vote will be going to Donald Trump, and 49% of the vote will be going to Joe Biden in the state of Georgia. And now we have a major news, a big positive news for the Biden campaign. Arizona will be going to Joe Biden. Joe Biden will win Arizona's 11 electoral votes. This is big news for the Biden campaign, and this is horrible news for Donald Trump. Meaning, if Donald Trump now wants to win the election, he must win a Pennsylvania or Michigan. This puts Biden very close at reaching 270 electoral votes. Joe Biden will win Arizona by around 0.7%. That is under 1 percentage point, extremely close overall. 97% in. We now can call the state of Arizona's race for Joe Biden. Joe Biden will win Arizona. He will take 50.4% of the vote to Donald Trump's 49.6% of the vote. We have a major flip, the third flip for Donald Trump tonight. 6 electoral votes. The state of Nevada will be going to Donald Trump. He will win the state of Nevada by around 0.4 percentage points. 98% of the estimated vote is in. 50.2 points for Donald Trump to Joe Biden's 49.8. Extremely close race in Nevada, but Donald Trump will narrowly pull off the state of Nevada. But that does not mean he surpasses 270. As Joe Biden does win the state of Michigan, a must-win for the Biden campaign, and guess what? He has won it, as that is expected to give him above 270. Joe Biden he is expected to surpass 270, giving him his successful re-election bid. Joe Biden does win the state of Michigan, 15 electoral votes. He's going to take the state of Michigan by around 3 percentage points. 99% of the estimated vote is in. 51.5% for Joe Biden to Donald Trump's 48.5% in Michigan. We have a major projection out of the Rust Belt state of Pennsylvania. Incumbent President Joe Biden will win Pennsylvania's 19 electoral votes. This is major news for the Biden campaign as he surpasses 270 electoral votes. Joe Biden, 0.6% for Pennsylvania. President-elect Joe Biden, 46th President of the United States, in his second and final last term, he surpasses the 270 mark, just getting 271 electoral votes to Donald Trump's 267. Donald Trump was extremely close to being elected, but Joe Biden narrowly wins the presidency by around just 1 electoral vote. This race was overall extremely close. This was the map, and you can take a look at the margins for each and every state. And the winner of the popular vote goes to Joe Biden. He receives more votes than Donald Trump, but it is overall close. And now taking a look at the battle of control of the U.S. Senate. Republicans will take back control of the U.S. Senate in 2024. So the Senate belongs to the Republicans, and Joe Biden will be reelected. And the House of Representatives will go to the Democrats as well. But Republicans do take the Senate. 52 seats for the GOP to the Democrats' 48 seats. Thank you everyone for watching. Stay tuned for more election nights in the future, and don't forget to subscribe as we are approaching 500 subscribers. Thank you everyone for watching.